The Zenfone Max Pro M1. This phone is already 2 months old, but if you're still waiting for this phone, definitely you're waiting for the upgraded model. So this is upgraded model. It has got now 6 GB of RAM, and the selfies also improved to the 16 megapixel. So regarding the performance, since it has got 2 GB extra RAM, we checked on the yesterday's video, there's not huge improvement. So even though I show you speed test with so many phones together, just to give a fair idea, how other phones are doing right now, but I just shown you with the Redmi Note 5 Pro because these two phones share almost the same specs, so why not compare with that? There was not too much major difference, even though I will say both phones performed exactly same. It was a common myth like having stock Android always work great. It depends on OS2. The MIUI nowadays are quite optimized. It is working super fast, even though there is animations, some are not needed, but still there is not too much difference. So be sure to check out the old video. Now regarding the camera, only this time I'm showing you just side by side using these two phones only, even though I filmed with some other phones too. I will show you in the future with the Motorola, Samsung, Nokia phones comparison too. But let's take a look on these two phones together. Then we will see what are the pros and cons of this phone, because there are some major cons are there. So stay tuned to the end of the video. So we'll start with the outdoor. Right now it is raining in India, so it's better to shoot outside. So right here you can see, since both phones are budget phones, so really you cannot expect too much high quality. There will be always some compromise, but if you just compare these two phones, what I have seen is that the Redmi Note 5 Pro is showing a slightly better results always. For example, the colors are more better. I see the grass color, you can see it coming natural here on Note 5 Pro. So Zenfone M1 is okay. I won't say it is better than Note 5 Pro. The dynamic range is better compared to M1 here. You can do 10x zoom here on the Note 5 Pro, while on the Zenfone it is just 4x kind of optics limitation. Colors are coming proper here. You can see my black color is coming perfect here, but the Zenfone it is slightly faded. So these kinds of results you will see. Photos are coming more natural on the Note 5 Pro. They looks more beautiful on always. So this is the difference main. Clearly there is some sensors issues there, maybe the cost saving, that is why this one is slightly cheaper than Note 5 Pro. So this is light variations test, and I just try to show you the same different lighting situation, the same object, how it is performing. If you're taking slight bit of low light photos, prefer Note 5 Pro. Results are in front of you, even though budget phones are not meant for low light, but still if you're taking, prefer Note 5 Pro, you will be getting some advantage here. So this is the thing there. Note 5 Pro, no light conditions. So we have changed the lighting situation. There is a night light, say 2 to 5 watt indoor light. On that condition you can just try to feel. So here again you can see Note 5 Pro is doing better. In some case I see like on the face of this Santa, I can see details more there, but sharpness is better on the Note 5 Pro. And the background color is coming more proper on the Note 5 Pro instead of the Zenfone M1. It is just trying to make everything so bright. Maybe they have taken the concept of having more light, so that becomes grainy. These colors are slightly washed out, but Note 5 Pro is still doing a much better job than the M1. So do check my Moto G6 comparison with that. I will show you very soon. G6 has a better options, just taking a lot of better pictures there. Stay tuned, I will show you very soon the comparison between these two devices too. But here standard light, when we use normal lighting condition like 1 or 2 LED tube lights on your room, turn on the casual you're sitting taking photos. So Note 5 Pro still shows better results. Sharpness, details, background accuracy, these things are better there. But there's a big cons on the Zenfone M1 too. I will show you at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But here results are in front of you. Now this is studio light, like we used to film there, too much light, nobody sits there, but still if you're taking a lot of photos there, again Note 5 Pro is doing better job. So here is a big change for the selfies too, since there's a 16 megapixel upgrade. So Zenfone M1 sometimes show a lot of color tuning, yellowish thing comes on the Zenfone M1. So here is my recommendation to you guys. If you're taking more selfies, go with the Note 5 Pro. It shows always the better color. In most of the situations I have seen, I'm using the device from so many months, so it is just doing better on the selfie. So 20 megapixel is just too much. So here are some more photos for you. I'm just showing more photos for the selfies because this time there is only camera upgrade from the front side, not showing the dark side. That means in the complete low light, but you can take with a flash on the Note 5 Pro. You can have better night selfies also. The colors of the t-shirt are more accurate on the Note 5 Pro compared to the Zenfone M1. And here is the thing that will simply surprise you. Zenfone M1 is taking lot better portraits compared to Note 5 Pro. There are two big reasons. First, I can take much closer portraits of the Zenfone M1, and also I can do the live bokeh effect, which is not great on the Note 5 Pro, but Zenfone M1 can do that. So I need to adjust myself to take close-up portraits on the Note 5 Pro, but Zenfone M1 is doing much better job. So can take close up. And here in the portrait, I see the building on the background is much washed out on the M1 compared to the Note 5 Pro. So selfie portrait, still here selfie portraits are better on the Zenfone M1. So don't look at the face quality, it will be better on the Note 5 Pro, but the things like the background, all the stuff, Zenfone M1 is, I turned off beautification of both the phone, so it's kind of natural but it's taking better portrait. But I have seen by taking so many samples, so just showing you the best one that I can match side by side. So portraits are better on the Zenfone M1. So these are the photos. Now some video tests too. Selfie videos, if you're doing a lot of vlogging, filming with the front camera, because 20 megapixels, 16 megapixels are just too much for nowadays. But here you can just take a look on the background. Zenfone Pro Max M1 is showing more details on the background. The trees are more sharper here. Maybe the sensor they have improved a lot compared to the Note 5 Pro because slightly older. So if you are doing a lot of Instagram TV, IGTV stuff, prefer Max Pro M1, because on the selfie side nobody provides stabilization, so either way it is okay, but details are much better on the Zenfone Max Pro on the selfie side. Now it is time to do some video stabilization test, even though there is no OIS on the both phones, but surprisingly Redmi Note 5 Pro is doing much better job in making the video more stabilized. So this is 1080p 30 frames per second. See, videos are very smooth. So they have done really great job in making video stabilized. On the budget phones, these things are really very tough to see, but here they have done that. Zenfone Pro Max M1 has a crappy shaky videos because they haven't done any software automation which Redmi has done on their phone. A quick different resolution comparison. So Zenfone Max Pro M1, even with the Snapdragon 666, it is capable of filming 4K 30 frames per second videos, while on the Redmi you cannot do that. But videos definitely won't be stabilized. These things you will get on the flagship phones only, but if you're making still videos, at least you're getting 4K 30 frames per second here. Next is some quality test. So like I mentioned, if you do some kind of still video filming, or if you're filming any video for your personal moments just to watch it later, prefer 4K, because once you transfer those clips to the big screen or computer, so obviously having more megapixel is a future proofing. It's like VGA 5 years back, and Full HD will be VGA like 5 years after today. So prefer 4K if you do still filming, but if you're just doing one stabilized video, definitely go with the Note 5 Pro. But personally I will recommend to go with the 4K if you're doing some sort of video stuff. Otherwise Note 5 Pro is better choice in terms of quality and the video stabilizations too. A quick indoor selfie video test too, if you're doing some kind of indoor filming too. Here you can see I can see more details for Redmi Note 5 Pro. Zenfone M1 is towards the natural, colors are not getting accurate here. See the darkness on either side of the face, but here the Note 5 Pro I can see details much better here. So selfies are good indoor for Note 5 Pro. For outdoor we have seen Zenfone Max Pro M1 was doing better job, but indoor Redmi Note 5 Pro is doing better job. So now we have seen complete photos and videos. Now time to summarize everything else. So before we will just make everything final, let me show you some few cons of this phone that I have noticed. So number one cons I will say, the HDR processing of this phone is really very slow. For example, if you're taking some photos, and this phone is taking some time to process it. If you just snap and click, so photos are not as great if you just took it immediately and just left. So this guy is taking some time in processing, so this is some sort of drawback I will say. Many of the photos of mine are simply for example, you can see this phone is able to take the photo, but this one just focus on somewhere else. So a lot of times I face this problem, so you have to get used to it. Like you just still and take photos, so this kind of limitation you have to deal with that. And also the camera UI, what I will say, this is simply copy paste camera UI. I have seen many third-party applications on the Play Store which are having the similar camera UI. I mean, these kinds of common layout you may have seen in so many third-party applications. And also if you just compare with the Redmi Note 5 Pro UI, so this UI is more simple. Everything is just there on the single hand. You can do photos, videos, portrait, selfie change here, just preview, all things you can do from here. But here if you want to for example change to the video mode, you just have to unnecessarily stretch it here, take the video. If you want to switch to the selfie mode, you have to use another finger, another hand, or something like that. Portrait here, all the options are there. So these kinds of things, if you're taking a lot of photos, so these kinds of quick shortcuts are really very handy. They will simply give less pain to your hand, because I am doing a lot of photo stuff, so I only prefer simpler UI. These two things I will say some sort of drawback here. So these things can be improved with a software update, but let's see. I'm not hoping budget phones are going to get some kind of major camera update. Now let's talk about the overall camera and video quality. First, start with the rear camera. Like we have seen, Redmi Note 5 Pro is taking better shots compared to M1. I mean Zenfone M1. So in terms of sharpness, colors, or everything is just better on the Note 5 Pro. Speaking of the front camera, selfies are better on the Note 5 Pro. If you're taking still selfies, you can say obviously selfie means to be beautiful. They are better on this phone. Speaking of the videos, so rear camera videos are more stabilized here on this Note 5 Pro. If you're doing some side of moving videos, so prefer this phone. But if you're taking still videos, prefer Zenfone M1 because it has a 4K video recording. I don't know why they haven't enabled that thing here. Both phones have the same processor, but still this is limited. If you're filming some future stuff videos like some personal family moments, so obviously you want to see it later time, 5-10 years later, so prefer 4K. Having 4 times more resolutions is always great. Once you transfer the photos and videos to the computer, then you will realize that. Now speaking of the portrait, I will simply say that if you just want to take better portraits on both the phones, so go with the Zenfone M1. It is taking much better portraits both from the rear and the front camera. I have the more control. I just don't need to stretch my hands. This phone has a limitation, but it can take closer portrait like my Pixel phone is doing. So I'll prefer portrait on this phone. Other than that, I will prefer rest of the things here except 4K. If 4K is your need on the budget, which I don't think so everybody has a need right now, so go with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Overall, just for the portrait, I will say go with this phone. Anyway guys, that's my take on the Zenfone M1 camera. Any concerns, queries, just tweet me on @JISupport for faster response, or you can just comment me down here on the YouTube comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and comparison like that. This is Saurabh. Talk to you guys in the next video very soon. Till then, have a great day.